So man, thanks so much for coming. I
you for
appreciate
inviting
it so
me.
much. So tell me a little bit about the Evo. Like, how long have you had it?
So I've had the car for roughly 4 years now. It's a 2003. Obviously, I bought it used. I picked it up a little bit up north from a guy that had it pretty much completely stock, other than I think he had springs and a muffler. That's about it.
And that's it. Like stock heights and everything. Oh, well, it was dropped then.
Yeah, it was a little bit dropped. That's it. Everything else has been through me.
Has been done by you.
Yeah. Well, not specifically by me, yeah, but
that you've had it done. You've done the whole build.
Yes.
And did you do like the performance part first, or was that over time? How did that work?
So I'll jump into the motor. So the car had a bad clutch. I have a friend whose name is Sean, who also has a black Evo, super fast. And he's told me about his mechanic, right? His name is Bert. That's why you see the Bert Tune sticker in the back. So I took it to Bert for clutch, right? And it was like, oh, since I'm there, maybe I should do, a little bit more. Oh, how much is it for cams? How much is it for this? How much? Eventually, I went in for a clutch, and it came out with the power that it came out now.
Yeah. That's crazy. So you did it all at once, basically, or
all at once?
All at once. And then something I didn't know that you had mentioned to me was like the Sheepy logo that's in the motor. That's like a famous almost a famous. I don't know, because I wasn't familiar, but my brother had recognized him after I told him about your car.
Yeah.
And that he's like, yeah, that guy is like now really well known. And you had gone to him before he started doing like the big like Lambos and stuff that you said.
So I've always been a fan of Sheepy from Hondas. That's where he started.
Yeah.
So I previously had Hondas, 99 SI, then I went to a 2009 SI. I had some Sheepy parts from him because I was trying to go turbo on that. I came up on this used kit because he doesn't make it anymore.
Yeah.
So I that's what I like the most. That you can't, even if you try to buy it, you can't buy it anymore.
Yeah.
So I bought it used. It's a Sheepy hot parts, basically manifold, downpipe, turbo, like housings, and the catch can, which was really hard to find.
Yeah.
So that was my favorite part. Obviously, the front mount he still makes, which I bought off Black Friday.
Yeah.
Trying to get some deals.
Yeah.
And that's it, man. I try to keep everything Sheepy so it looks nice and uniform. But yeah, man.
Yeah. Yeah, and then like in the 4 years that you've had the build, like what would you say some mistakes that you felt like you made, or did you you've had cars before, so you've probably done cars forever. So I wanted to make this kind of an educational thing too for people that because I get a lot of people that they know a lot, and then there's some people that don't know anything. So I don't know if you made mistakes in previous builds, so where this one you're like, I'm not doing these specific things. Like, what would you say?
So unfortunately, there's that saying that says you gotta pay to play.
Yeah.
Right. I don't like to buy things twice.
Yeah.
It's a waste of money.
Yeah.
So like everybody else, I bought cheap coilovers at first, destroyed them, ended up buying expensive coilovers. Come to find out, it's better to just save up, get the correct part first.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you go through that a lot with suspension and stuff. That guys try to cut springs or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just not worth it, man. I'd rather sit, save, do it all. The correct way. Other than that, I say forums online. It's a really big help for everybody. And the car community is, in my experience, the car community has been very helpful. If you have any questions or anybody, even if you go to hangouts and you see somebody with a similar car with you, ask him questions. He might be going through the same thing as you, or maybe went through it, whatever you're having issues with. So I like that about the car community.
Yeah.
Most of us are friendly.
Most of us, because you definitely have your, it's like with everything, but here they're very strong in the hate and very strong in the help. I feel like in our community, so you get best of both worlds. And I feel like sometimes people do get intimidated with like the asking of the questions and stuff, and they want to kind of be in that know-it-all type of situation. But at the end of the day, even me that I've done cars forever, and I learn every day from a client something new that I had no idea about. So that's super important. And suspension-wise, what'd you go with on the Evo?
I did Fortune 500s. It's a company, I think they're based off like North Carolina.
Okay.
I did their 510. What I like about them, I had them on previous Evos. This is like my third or fourth Evo now. I call them, I tell them, hey, this is what I want to do, and they'll recommend what basically what kit to go with.
Yeah.
They're super friendly, always answer the phone, so that's why I usually go with them. I've never had an issue with them. The last Evo that I had those coils for 7 years. You know, it was a 600 horsepower car. Never really gave me an issue. Daily, you know, everything never leaked or anything like that. So I'll stick to what I know works.
Yeah, 100%. And why the Evo? Like, why'd you, like, was it from a kid or, you know?
So back when I was younger, there was a game for the Xbox called Sega GT 2002.
Okay.
Right? Me and my little brother used to play it. At some point you would get, I think it was called like the Tommy version of the Evo. I think it was like an Evo 4. And I thought it was super cool because the exhaust and in the game, it would spit flames. So that was my favorite car just because of that reason, not knowing what an Evo was. Because it didn't exist here, so I had no idea what it was.
Yeah.
And then my first car, my dad bought me a Plymouth Laser, which is an exact copy of, well, it's like a brother to the Mitsubishi Eclipse at the time. So ever since then, it's always been like Mitsubishi. A buddy of mine actually got an Evo back when I was in high school. And it's always been like a rivalry, you know, Evo, WRX.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh no, I like the WRX better, STIs are better.
Yeah.
And I would get to ride in his car and I'm like, damn, this thing is nice.
Yeah.
You know? And from there, it's just been, you know, like I said, I started on the Hondas, but it's always like, they're really cheap to mod in a sense to gain, like, you know, bolt-ons in the sense to gain quick horsepower. So it's always been a love, you know, like, I don't know, it's just in me to direct myself to the Evo.
Yeah, it's one of those things where after you drive it, there's no going back almost.
Like I sold the last Evo that I had, which was a 2013. It had like 22,000 miles. I bought it with like 9,000 miles. I sold it and I got a CTSV. I'm like, okay, I want something comfortable, I want power. 6 months later, I sold it, I got another Evo.
Yeah.
I couldn't, man.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of the CTSV, but I've never driven one. I just love how they look. And
they're sexy, man. Sometimes I'm like, damn, I miss it, but it's gonna be the same thing. If I were to get another one, I would eventually, either I keep this as a, you know, the garage and then daily something else, but it's just hard to let it go. I've been used to it, like, it's been so long since I've had them that not having one, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, of course. And this one you do daily?
No, this one stays in the garage for work. They give me a car, so I don't really use this car a lot. Like last time I drove it was when I brought it here.
Was when you brought it here?
Yeah. Other than that.
So even on the weekend, sometimes you kind of just leave it?
Yeah. We use her car.
That's awesome. Yeah, man. What else? You know, as far as the wheels as well, you have BBS?
Yeah, so these were a little hard to find. These are Evo 9 MR BBSs. I don't think you can get them anymore off of Mitsubishi. Mitsubishi's like cutting off a lot of parts now.
Yeah.
Like they just announced 2 weeks ago that the rear bumper is discontinued. You can't buy them anymore.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so before we used to go to the dealer, give them the part number. It'll take a little bit, but it'll get here, and that's what I did with this one. But right now, like, you know, when I bought it, it was like maybe $600-700. Now people that have them, they're selling them on eBay for like $1,500 because you can't buy them anymore.
Yeah, crazy.
So same thing with the wheels. I bought them for a guy up north. I sent them over to, I always forget his Instagram name, man. He does a lot of powder coating. It's like powder coating in a motive or something like that. And he redid all the wheels and the brakes as well.
And he's local here?
Yeah, he's maybe like 45 minutes up north. But he's really good. He did my valve cover. He did a couple stuff. Again, it's powder coating, so it's supposed to last.
Yeah.
So that's the BBS 9MR wheels. I have them on RT 660s. Like we were talking before, they're good tires. Don't get me wrong. When it didn't make a lot of power, it would grip nice. Now, every once in a while, it loses a little bit of traction, depending on the road, I guess.
Yeah, and it's pushing how much power right now?
So the car makes 811 on 45 pounds. Right now, it's sitting at about 40, but I have seen it spike on the computer. It'll show me 50, 51, which I honestly don't know what it makes there.
Yeah.
I had an issue with my exhaust at the time when it tuned. The back part, the actual muffler of the exhaust exploded. And then one of my oxygen sensors went bad. So I changed that out. We should be taking it back. The car should be at 50 pounds, which then I'm guessing like mid 8s. It's what it should be putting down. But yeah, man.
And do you baby it, or do you like?
No, I baby it. Yeah, to be honest, I do baby it.
Yeah.
One of my friends recently blew his engine as I was tuning, right? So I tuned, the next day I called him, hey, I made this much. He's like, bro, last night I tried to go see you and blah, blah, blah. So ever since then, I'm like, nah, I can't go through it, man.
Yeah, man.
I've blown the Evo before, not this one, the previous ones. And it sucks, man, being down for like a year and a half. I don't have the money to just be like,
yeah, fix it.
Yeah. Be ready in 2 weeks. No, I don't have that kind of money, you know? So it takes a little bit for me. So that time, the car was down for like a year and a half. It kills me, man, just to, you know, be spending all this money for what, you know?
Yeah.
It's a parked car, so.
Yeah.
And I get it, it's part of the game. You know, what is it? Build, race, break, fix.
Yeah, pretty much. Unless you kind of like that, because it's at a level where the car just looks, it's so nice where it almost has that personality of like, you know, wanting to baby it too, because you know, you put so much money and time with it where I'm sure you still have fun with it, but it's like one of those things where like to push it to its limits, like it's just not even worth it.
It's like you said, it's even just driving a normal, it gets a lot of attention, and I believe it's because of the color. You know, like you don't really see a lot of yellow Evos. It gets a lot of attention, so I just cruise it, you know, windows down, AC blasting. You don't have to really go fast.
Yeah. How often would you say, do you get like stopped all the time, pretty much every time you take it out?
Not a lot, because like I said, I don't drive it a lot. But every once in a while, you see somebody throw like a thumbs up or like flag me down, ask me about the car and stuff like that. But since I don't really drive it a lot, like even when I take it to places, I took it to get one of the tires fixed one of these days. The owner of the shop had an Evo.
Yeah.
He's like, man, I've never seen you before. Like, yeah, I live down the street. You know, it's just hidden in a garage. Nobody knows where it is.
Yeah.
When I take it out, it's literally I pull it out, check the tires, wash it, put it back in.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and who do you take it to now? Like, if you, the same guy that tuned it and did all the work is?
So it's tuned by Lance. It's on a V2 standalone by AM. He's the only one that tunes it, and then any mechanical work goes to Bert from Bert Tune.
Yeah. Awesome.
So hopefully, he's moving shops right now. So hopefully he'll give me a call soon when he's ready. We're gonna do a couple more things to it just to reinforce and get ready for those 50 pounds. Let's see what it does there.
Yeah. So you're gonna like do the subframe reinforcement and stuff like that?
No. When I say reinforcement, I mean I want to change something in the transmission. I don't like to, give a lot. I want to change the transmission eventually.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be a stock tranny, so he's gonna do all that work for me, and because I have a feeling that if I keep pushing it,
the tranny.
Yeah, it's stock transmission, stock differential. Transfer case.
Crazy.
Yeah. The only thing that's touched is the engine, obviously turbo, and supporting mods, but.
And the motor's fully built, right?
Yeah, motor's fully built.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very simple setup. Believe it or not, it's like I said, it's by Bert. It's just piston rods, retainers, springs, cams, a little bit of his magic work on the head, big turbo. Nothing really, out of the ordinary. It's still, it's not a decked block, or it's not a cemented block or anything like that. No, it's still stock. Yeah, basically.
Awesome. Yeah, man. And then just like the last 3 things, if you were to give like 3 tips to somebody, starting a build or any advice that you'd give somebody that's starting out, what would it be? Like 3 things that you'd say?
Honestly, man, patience.
Yeah.
Patience. A lot of people will settle for something that they either don't like or don't need just to get the build going.
Yeah.
Okay, so patience is a virtue. I would say research. And the last thing is, if you're doing it yourself, you have to do your own research. If you're having somebody else do it for you, just trust in their word, because they've done it before. They know what works. Let them do their thing.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
And you know, going off that, how do you feel? Like, how was your experience coming here? You know, with me and my shop.
Man, with you, I got really lucky because I texted you, hey, when can I make an appointment? You texted me back, hey, somebody canceled. You want to stop by right now? And I literally drove here.
Yeah.
So mine was like instant, right? I don't know how long your wait time is right now. I know that sucks if you gotta wait. Like I said, I got lucky.
Yeah.
I specifically, my brother came to you and he said good words about you. So when I came, I already knew you knew what you were doing, right? Yeah. I specifically came to you because I wanted the Fender work without it being noticed. Yeah. Like it looks stock. Like nobody would know I did Fender work in the back, you know, and I really like that. As you can see, I don't have any aftermarket stuff on my car. I don't have wings. Everything I have is OEM.
Yeah.
I don't like, you know, stuff that's not OEM.
Yeah.
So I wanted to keep that. With you, man, show me the video explaining, you know, what is what we should do, what we shouldn't do. Once you lifted the car, you showed me all the lights. You showed me how the fender was getting already a little bit messed up. That was amazing. You actually touched up the paint that was ripping out. That was amazing. I had a great experience with you, man. Definitely would recommend you for anybody that I know that needs, you know, Fender or any type of work that you do here.
Yeah, appreciate it, man.
No, I appreciate
it, man. And hopefully now with this type of thing, you know, we help out the community too, because there are a lot of people that I feel like, especially in Miami, locally, that everyone's just kind of separated. Like we do have the car communities and stuff, but there's not like that type of I guess vision or something where it all can kind of come together, especially in our scene where, you know, the JDM, we're not in like the Porsche class, or like you have like that really high end Miami scene that I feel like they have more community, but us here like more in the middle where we have these really special builds and stuff, and you know, nobody's taking notice, and like, you know, out in California, everyone's just killing us over here with the whole thing. So, and then what I've seen a lot too here locally is like a lot of people, I feel like the main thing that you said was don't have patience, you know, with their builds. So they end up jumping the gun, and then they don't understand that, you know, you pay 3 times as much every single time. Like it just is that way with cars, you know. I had somebody the other day that came and he's like, oh, I had my brother do it because I just wanted to slap the wheels on, and he couldn't get the same fitment. I couldn't, you know, as far as if he had just brought a stock and, you know, keep the stocks on and do the things and do it with the right people, if you're going to do it with the right people, and usually, and know your limits, I think too, is a big thing, because, you know, a lot of people try certain things, and again, you either mess it up, and then the mechanic or the guy that's going to do something with it is going to charge you almost more because he has to undo a mistake, you know?
Yeah. I agree.
But yeah, man, I think we're good with that, and I appreciate you coming. Let's do some shots of the car and stuff. I think it's raining, so we won't be able to. We'll do some rollers. I'm gonna set up the GoPro with like on my Cayenne, and then we'll just do some rollers. I doubt we can with the rain. It's gonna be like, you know, get the sound of the car and stuff, and then maybe another time we'll have people see it like perform on the highway or something.
You got it.
You're close. Yeah, man.
Awesome.
Appreciate you, bro.
Thank you, bro.
All right, bro.